Hello, everybody, and welcome to another podcast. My name is Gary Hibbert, and this month I had the chance to sit down with Ashmeed Khan, and it's kind of a bit of a funny story, but I actually bumped into Ashmeed at a gym here in Ajax called Lifetime, and when I bumped into him, I was like, "You look very familiar," and the reason why he looked familiar was because I'd seen his signs all over town, and Ashmeed is actually right now in the process of running for Ajax Ward 2 local councillor. So we sat down and I said, look, you know what? I think it'd be a good idea to have maybe a little interview with you because, to tell you the truth, I really don't even know what a local councillor does. I have a bit of an idea, but I don't know the full ins and outs of it. So he agreed to the interview, and listen, let me tell you, he's a hardworking man. Came from Guyana at an early age of 23. Had a really difficult time in the beginning trying to find a job, and what he ended up doing was he started a Minuteman Press company, which is a franchise, and he had a very difficult time in the beginning, like all entrepreneurs do. He was out in the community doing the door knocking, which really in turn turned out to be very valuable for him because it, fast forward to today, built a substantial network of people in the community, and that's now really, I think, is going to help propel him to hopefully to become the local councillor of Ajax. So listen, we talked about a lot of stuff on this here, but really cool story. And also great to understand what a local councillor does in not only the Ajax community, but in communities right across the GTA. So sit back, relax, grab a coffee, grab a tea, whatever it is that you enjoy. Don't forget, go out and vote. I think it's very important to vote. They've actually made it very easy this year as well, too. You can do it online, and voting does start on October the 15th and goes until the 22nd. So you get a full week, okay? And you can do this thing online. So until next time, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so on the call today, we have my good friend Ashmeed Khan. Are you there?
Yes, I am, sir. How are you?
I am great. Yourself?
I'm pretty good, pretty good.
Good. So listen, thank you very much for being on the call with me today. I truly appreciate it. I know that you're running for the Ajax Ward 2 local councillor, but before we get into that part of the conversation, why don't you maybe tell the audience a little bit more about yourself, who you are, and how things are going with you?
Well, first of all, my name is Ashmeed Khan, born and raised in Guyana, South America. Came here to Canada 16 years ago with my wife, Shalisa, and 3 kids. 3 kids were 4 and 3 years old, and the baby was 6 months old. We came here, we stopped a couple of weeks in Toronto. Then we heard about Ajax, moved to Ajax, we got our property, and we've been here for 16 years. So that 4-year-old is now 20 years old, and the 6-month-old baby is now 16 years old. And since then, we've had 2 more kids. So we have 5 children, and so I'm a guy from Ajax right now.
Nice. 5 kids. Wow. That's amazing. I stopped at 2. I couldn't do any more. That's amazing. Okay, so what's that?
I said the more the merrier.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know what? I grew up in a family. I had 3 other siblings, so there's 4 of us. So yeah, you know what? It was fun growing up in that type of a home. So. Definitely. You are running for the Ajax Ward 2 councillor. Why? Why did you decide to do that?
So I'm from a printing background. In Guyana, I had a print company, very successful. I built it from scratch, and I came here as a new immigrant 16 years ago. It was a bit different than it looks right now, Ajax. I didn't want to do printing again. But when I finally realized this is what I'm really, really good at, I looked out and I bought a franchise called Minuteman Press. Minuteman, they build your store for you, and then they train you in the U.S. They train you for 3 weeks. And what they train you to do is marketing, to go out and knock on doors and meet people, because the demon in the business that nobody is going to Nobody's waiting for your store to open. You got to go get them to come into your stores. You got to go meet people. This is one of the things that keeps us apart from everybody else. We're the most successful print franchise in the world, the biggest one as well. We have over 1,000 stores internationally, but the system works. But knocking on doors, Gary, it was the most humiliating thing that I've ever been through, and knowing that there was no other hope. It took me 5 years to bring home my first paycheck to my family. And that was absolutely devastating. That was owing people money, barely making payroll, maxing out your credit cards, maxing out your line of credit. I did not know there were resources. There were resources available in Durham region and Ajax to help new immigrants and new business people. So that was one of the main reasons that the business grew. After 5 years, I got my first paycheck to give to my wife, and we started growing. We started growing, and we started developing, and then one of the other things that for our franchise, you have to join your local Chamber of Commerce or your Board of Trade. So I joined my Ajax Brooklyn Board of Trade, and I became, from hard work and networking again, I became a director at the Ajax Pickering Board of Trade. I think I'm going to be the first West Indian director to be there in 60 years of the Board of Trade being there. And then I realized that I have an opportunity to mentor and grow businesses and grow immigrants. Ajax is now almost 57% diversity. And I thought that, me being on council, because I've been building businesses since I started. I've been helping people because we've grown about 3,000 people in our network, which I'm able to connect my clients with to grow their businesses. It's been very easy for me that way because we've built great relationships with people. As long as you know you went through the same struggle, Gary, they know you understand the pain that it takes to build a business. So me getting that footing there on council, I just can do it expedited on a larger scale and faster for people. So I'm doing this so that I can really give back to the community, which has been so generous to our family.
Right.
That's it in a nutshell, why I'm doing it.
No, that's an amazing story. So you obviously came over here when you were younger, and you worked hard, and you did the door knocking, and obviously the door knocking piece is an important piece, obviously too, for running for councillor, right? And being out there in the community and being a part of the chambers of commerce. So it looks like you really built up a good network of people that in the community, which I think is incredibly important.
Yes.
Right. Now, for people who don't know, and I know prior to us, going out for lunch that we did a couple weeks ago, what exactly is a ward councillor? Because I know there's people out there, and I know people that are going to be listening to this may not even know what a ward councillor is, but I guarantee they've seen it, many times on those signs that you see, obviously around the community before as the election's coming up.
Yes. The ward councillor, there's two councillors, right? There's one that's a local councillor, which I'm going for, and there's one that you're a regional councillor. So that's a higher position, and they deal with regional issues. The local councillor is the person that has to be, I'll put that on, there are certain duties that you have to do, which very important, but you have to be that approachable person, first of all, who's not looking for a job. You're doing this for your community. If you're looking for a job, it's the worst reason to get into municipal politics. You need to focus. You need to want to do this for people. You have to be that guy, that person that's approachable from your community. You have to be that open door guy, that open door person that people can call on. I have given out my cell phone number to, I think, 45,000 people in Ajax over the last 5 months.
Wow.
And they've used it. They've been calling, and I've been, and I'm learning as I go along. I'm learning about the different issues, but they just need somebody they can talk to and bring their issues to. You can't have a councillor that you're sending out emails, you're making phone calls, but all you're getting is a voicemail that's never answered. And
okay.
So I built that platform that, I think I'm pretty much, first of all, I'm a Muslim, West Indian, successful business person. That fits into a lot of categories of Ward 2 Ajax right now. because it's very, very, very diverse. And, I can speak the languages. I understand the culture. I understand the patience you need and the respect you need to show with every different level of our community, including our business people and our new immigrants. So the main part, with all the other little duties you have to do, it's being the person they can call on to get whatever help they need at that time. Stuff like drainage and speeding and the little things, things that goes. They need to call somebody. But I'm that guy when there's issues, right? I got to take that to council. So when we have any issues and they sit with me, and we can discuss whatever the problem. I can make notes. I can take this to council, bring it to the attention, and we can come to a decision, right? But the system is there's the councillors and there's the mayor, and then there's staff of Ajax that handles the budgeting, who understands how much we can do and how much we can't do. Most of the time, people just want to have an answer. You might not be able to fulfill their requirements. They want that person who they can communicate with and let them know, well, this is how we are, and maybe we can't do it right now, but it's good that they have their voices heard. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get at. They need to have the voice.
And that sounds like and that sounds like a very important role, obviously, as well, too. So essentially, you are there to represent the people in the community, but you're not now in regards to a different part, like the parties that are out there. So you're not affiliated with the Conservative Party or the Liberals or the Green Party, or does that have any tie-in with the wards?
Municipal politics. There is no room for parties in municipal politics. There's no room.
Okay.
This is all about people. And I'll tell you one little extra advantage I have. When you're a director of the Ajax Pickering Board of Trade, you have to be nonpartisan because you're representing every different level of government and all the parties. So whoever is in power, whoever the opposition is, you will be dealing with them, and you need to be nonpartisan, so you can't pick a side. So one of the things that being a new person, a new immigrant, new Canadian, new business person, becoming a director on the Board of Trade, I was groomed and nurtured into being nonpartisan. So I am not affiliated with any party as it is. I am not. I get support from all the parties, and I am friends with them. I'm a business person as well. I do business with people. There's no way in a printing industry you can cut out and listen. I'm not printing for the Conservatives. I'm not printing for the NDP. You can't starve. Right. You got to keep your eye in the ball. Focus on the community. Focuses on our residents. Forget about your personal feelings and your personal goals. This is about the community. This is the only reason you should get into municipal politics.
Okay. And that's good to know, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that maybe didn't understand that, because I know there was a time I didn't, right? So that's good. Now, how can somebody become or even run for a ward councillor? Is that something that's fairly easy to do? Do you have to have any type of credentials?
Well, let me see. I don't think so. I don't think you need credentials. But maybe you should, though, because what I've seen is that people come out, I put my name in 3 months before anybody else put their names in, and in the last few days of closing the nominations, it was up there for 3 months, people just started calling out of their caves, people who have done, we don't know who they are. You should at least have some kind of a face in the community. You should have done something within your community since the last election, but everybody is hidden, and then suddenly they all jump out at you and they start, they start slinging mud, right? And some people start even bringing race and religion into this. And you want to know, if you want to be a candidate for a diverse community, you want to seriously bring in race and religion into this? How can you be the voice and the face for the ward you're representing?
Right.
You hear these things, and it's actually it's hurtful to know that somebody thinks that they can represent this ward, this community, and they're picking at race and religion. It's unheard of. But like I said, there actually should have been some sort of qualifications so you can run at some criteria you've met, that you've given to community. I've done, me personally, I've done a bit. I don't want to blow my own horn, but personally, I mentor kids. I do a lot of public speaking and at my business, I employ at-risk youth with a criminal background. When these kids, people make mistakes, and when kids make mistakes and they're incarcerated and they come back out, you have a stained record, obviously, and unfortunately, you're unemployable to society. I work with the YMCA and the John Howard Society, and I take these kids, kids are like young adults, and I take them in, I give them a shot. It's difficult. It is difficult dealing with them, but I have the patience. I'm a father of 5. I know how to deal with people. I know how to get good out of them. And I keep them in for a year, 2 years. I make sure I give them the opportunity to be confident. And after about 2 months working with them, I usually give them the keys. I say, listen, John, you're opening on Monday, and I leave them. And this is the alarm number and whatever. And then but Gary, I've seen the parents come to me crying. Somebody says, Ash, thank you so much. Like nobody would give John an opportunity to work. And now he has so much more confidence. He's just a person. In 16 years I've been doing this, Gary, I've seen these kids now with their wives or their husbands and children, and they have a house and a car, and they're still so grateful. Now, I don't keep them forever. I keep them for a few years, and then I open up doors and opportunities within my connections. And when I put my name on a resume, it has a little bit of value in our community by now. And they're employable.
Yeah.
And they get that chance to elevate themselves.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, that's amazing, because it is a difficult thing where, especially when you're young. And I mean, listen, we've all been young, and I know I've made some mistakes, and it's unfortunate sometimes kids do make some crucial mistakes, and they end up putting themselves or ending up in jail. But when they come out, it is tough for them to be or get employment. So for you to kind of stretch your hand out and to help, especially in our community, that's amazing. And I think that shows a lot of who you are, the type of person that you are, and what you represent. So congratulations for doing something. I think that is incredibly important. It is.
They also made me the chairman of the diversity committee at the Board of Trade, so I get to really meet people of all different communities in the diversity. So I got a lot of knowledge from the board members that I have that we got from all over the region, and so such rich knowledge and just simple things that we take for granted, like opening safe spaces for LGBTQ community. We need to do that. This is a diverse community. We can't leave anybody out. I am the voice for youth. I make sure I stand up and I fight for them and I give them. But I don't talk. I'm the guy that does it.
Right.
I don't say we should create jobs. I employ them.
So you're doing that and you're helping them. But how do we foster that, or how do we continue to help the youth in our community? Because obviously you're one man, but is there something else that we can do or that you're looking to do for the youth in the community?
Well, I'm also a member of the Ajax Community Funds grants. So Ajax has a certain amount of money that they allocate for groups and events every year. So I'm a member of that, and we have access to funds. And people, I can encourage groups. There's a lot of groups that are trying to get kids, because I'll tell you where our problem is, though, Gary. Ajax, as you've heard this so many times, become a bedroom community. We don't have 70% of our Ajax people, we say Ajaxians, 70% work outside of Ajax. And the problem is, when school's out and the kids are done at 3:30, they're pretty much alone from 4 to 7 p.m., where the parents want to be with their kids, taking care of their kids. We're parents, Gary. We want to be with them. But these parents, our residents are stuck on the 401 and the 404 and the 407 trying to get home. They get home at 7 p.m. I've been door knocking for the last 5 months. And nobody opens their doors before 7 o'clock. Rarely anybody's going to open their door before 7 o'clock to have that engage in that dialogue. It's hard now because it gets dark at 10 to 7, right? Mm-hmm. So and you can't be out on the road knocking through doors at night. So it's difficult now. But because our kids are unsupervised from 4 to 7 p.m., this is where a lot of challenges happen because we're not there to be parents to our children. So one of the things on council, I want to make sure that we are able to grow jobs with, and this is a little off from what you're asking, I know, but one of the ways I can counter this being a counselor is making sure that jobs are easier to have. I have right now, my colleagues, 4 very viable investors who want to come to Ajax. You know what they say, Gary? They said, it's too hard to do business in Ajax, man. I'm taking this to Whitby and to Pickering. Look at Whitby and Pickering grow. There's so many things happening that people refuse to work with Ajax. I don't know why. But we need to get on council. We need to ask why and find out why is it so hard to do business home right here in Ajax. And our people have to go out and work elsewhere. Then we're wondering why we get that crime in our community, because our kids are, it just trickles down. Or trickles up, whatever you want to say, but it's not good for us. Me being a counselor, I want to be able to have that voice that we can bring jobs. I have people who want to invest in Ajax. I want to make that possible. Again, that's only so much I can do, but just having a voice.
But do you have any idea why, though, why it's difficult? Are there just additional red tapes, or is it something that you're looking to find out?
Bureaucracy, man. That's what people are just saying. Is so much permit, so much stuff that's unnecessary that it's not well thought. And then again, I can't give you proper info if I'm not there.
Right.
And I think I think our Mayor Parrish did an amazing job with our town. He brought it up from what it was to what it is now, and and he brought all the residents, and he did some work with businesses. But right now he's retired, and he says, like, I did my part. Now we need fresh faces, fresh blood, fresh ideas. And I think, personally, between you and I, we need entrepreneurial blood in there. People who understand business, who knows how to grow.
Yeah.
And that's what I am. That's what I do.
Yeah, to look at things with a different perspective, right? To see it from a different angle. I agree with that for sure.
We got to grow businesses. We got to grow opportunity. We have all the resources. Ajax is beautiful. I'm so in love with this place. And trust me, who've been there, they've done an amazing job. It's just now time. And I mean, one of the reasons I'm running to the guy who was a counselor, he retired. So, he made that opening is there. And with all respect to everybody, I'm running now because I think I can fill that void. And I can really represent this community in a proper way. And my motto is advancing Ajax with integrity. I can tell you one thing on our campaign trail. I met some of the people from the town of Ajax who congratulated me, and it says, Ash, he says, your Ward 2 has been extremely respectful throughout this process. And they congratulated me on that. I think I was caught on camera fixing somebody else's sign that fell down. And probably would have been a no-no, but apparently it meant a lot to the kind of people Ajax or Ajaxians are when we're not mudslinging at each other. We're trying to win this on our own integrity, and I have a lot of respect for my opponents because I know how hard this is. It's humiliating. My wife wears a hijab. Can you imagine opening the door and seeing a hijab woman in front of your door? She gets the door slammed in her face every single day. That breaks my heart. But she sucks it up. She walks with me again and goes to the next door and says, hi, my husband is running for local councillor. We're looking, and she gets door slammed in her face. It's a difficult challenge. Me being a Muslim, I will have that opportunity to show the community who are less educated on how community works, how hardworking Muslims are along with everybody else, and how we're a decent people. We're not that stereotype that unfortunately the media has portrayed us to be. And again, that would be my personal thing, and the love that we bring within the community as well. But I do have a lot of respect for the opponents, without doubt, because this is a hard journey.
Yeah, and listen, I commend you for doing the work that you're doing and pushing through. And it's also sad that, people still look at people and will judge them just by their looks or what they're wearing. It's sad that we still live in that day and age, but I commend you for pushing through and doing what you're doing. And in the short period of time that I've known you, I can definitely tell that you're a stand-up person. So I applaud that. But what other issues do you see in our community that you're looking to kind of fix or rectify? I mean, obviously the youth, that's a big thing. Jobs. Is there anything else that you see that Ajax is kind of lagging behind that, we need somebody to kind of be that front runner to say, look, we need to get this fixed or resolved?
Yeah, well, again, these issues come, the problems that our residents face. It's far away, it's far apart, it's all different things. Again, I'm the grassroots guy, right? Mm-hmm. I'm the guy you come and say, Ash, they didn't pick up my garbage, or the stoplight's not working, or the sign fell down, or nobody's cleaning the parks, stuff like that. This is we're in good shape. Financially, Ajax is in amazing shape. But one other thing that, I've had meetings with first responders, and they're giving me the impression that they don't feel very well represented by certain aspects of our town. And they want people who can understand what they go through, because, firefighters more have died from committing suicide than from actual fire. So these are the stats for firefighters, and they need to be heard. They need to be. I don't even want to say they need to be respected. We should automatically respect our first responders. They're the people that come out to save our lives, and I want to be friends with them, and I want to be their voice for whatever issues they have, that I can actually bring that to them and listen. Our firefighters or our paramedics are having an issue, or police officers are having an issue, and this is their issue. How can we address this? And trust me, I'm not a rubber stamp. I built my business from nothing. I'm not for sale. I'm my own vote. I have a mind of my own. I work very, very well with others, but I also have my integrity to stand on.
Right.
Running a successful business makes you understand that, you can't be pushed around. You have to stand up for what you. Being a father of 5, Gary, you have to stand firm and let your family see exactly what kind of leadership you're bringing. I want to bring that to my town. I want to represent our first responders, most important, because they are hurting, and they're committing suicide because they don't have the funding to have the right mentorship or psychological treatment, whatever it is they require. We need to make sure they're taken care of.
Yeah, for sure. And how many people right now are, and I don't remember if we talked about this earlier, but how many people right now are you running against? Is it 4 or 5?
No, man, 6. I'm the 7th. Well,
so is that many people now? Wow.
That many. Yeah, I put in my name May 4th, and then I think 3 months I thought, like, wow, nobody's coming in against. This is amazing.
So you thought you had it. You thought you had it. It was just you.
It's just me, man. Like, wow. And then I thought, like, this is going to be boring. Yeah, this is not good. You need to show people need to. People have got the ambition to come out here and take. But it's hard. It's not an easy thing putting yourself out here like this, eh?
No, it's not.
It's not an easy thing, right? No. So you got to be, you really got to be sharp. And when I saw everybody start throwing their names, I was like, wow, okay, we've got a lot of interest. Okay, good. At one point, I felt like nobody wanted this thing, right? Yeah. But now everybody wants it, and everybody's working hard. And the only thing I regret is seeing people doing race and religion right now. That's the only thing. And I don't know if it's out of desperation, but this is not a town that we want that. We don't want division. If you were going to bring division, again, I said that earlier, if you're going to bring division into our town, you really think you want to be the counselor for our area? You're going to represent everybody else, or your own race and religion, right?
Right. No, that's a good point. And I mean, putting yourself out there as well too. I mean, I've followed you now on Facebook as well, and I can definitely see all the things that you are doing in the community. So you're doing a good job there. So keep that up. When are the polls open? When can people actually go out and vote? That's fairly soon.
It's very, very soon, and we're all excited and nervous about it because it's all leading down to this. It's next week, Monday, October 15th from 10 a.m., and it's all online or by telephone. So by now, everyone who are eligible to vote would have had their little PIN number in a white envelope saying the town of Ajax, has your name on it, has your PIN number on it. That's what you're going to use online, or you're going to use on the phone and call in your votes. So it's Monday, October 15th from 10 a.m., and it goes all the way to the next Monday, October 22nd, I think, to 8 p.m. that evening. That's the last you can vote.
And is that normal? Is it normally a week long?
No, it's usually voting is throughout a day probably. Again, but I know this is the first time it's going to be strictly online. And I don't know if it's because people, again, 70% of Ajax work out of Ajax. They go at 7 o'clock in the night. They leave home at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
How do they get to vote?
Listen,
Maybe that's one of the reasons why.
Listen, I used to do that myself. I for
really?
About a good, oh yeah. I mean, I used to work out in Scarborough, and then I was working downtown as well too. So I get it. I understand it. I mean, I especially this time of the year when you get into the winter months, and I remember waking up in the dark and going downtown, and where I was, there wasn't a whole lot of sunlight coming in those buildings because you're down in the towers, and then by the time I would get home, it'd be dark again. So I literally wouldn't see any daylight unless I went out for lunch. So I get it. I do understand it, and I think, if you do get on, if you're able to bring jobs and to cut some of those red tapes here in Ajax, I think that'd be fantastic, because it would be really good to get more jobs in the local community, because I think family is an important piece. But when people are away from their families for so long, it's difficult. It is difficult.
When I started out, my motto, my slogan was advancing Ajax with integrity. But after 5 months on the trail, it's become three simple words. It's quality family time. That's the goal. That's my goal.
Yeah.
I'm a family man. I'm a businessman. I understand what it takes. What we want is quality family time for our residents, and our kids are going to be phenomenal. We're going to have that nurturing, nurturing community like we always thrive for. I'm telling you, Ajax is the most loving community, most compassionate community that I've traveled the world, that I've ever come across. I'm from Guyana. Guyana is the most hospitable place, right? You just go to your neighbor's door, you knock open the door, you go to the kitchen and you take food and you eat. That's Guyana. That's where I'm from, right? That's how it is. But here,
nice.
Here people care. It took me a few years to understand they genuinely care about everybody else. They do, and I've gotten coming out of a third world country as Guyana, coming here. My philosophy right now is that everybody is good. Give them a chance. Everybody has so much good in them. I'm not going to say everybody's bad until I find them. No, I find everybody to be good, and they just need, again, they need that person, that voice to help move them forward, and they need that kind of, I don't want to say leadership, but representation. They need that They need to know they're comfortable with their counselor. I put my house address. Everybody knows where my house is. Come knock on when I go in the door, come over. Stop at my door anytime. My family is Guyanese, man. You open up, same thing. You come into my house, you go to the kitchen, right? There's always food, right? So, but we want to create, and we have created that. It's been so successful, on the trail meeting people, right? And again, if we get the educational part out, it's an opportunity for me to show people, and I've been doing it for 16 years, so people understand that whatever cultures you are, you come into Canada, you come here to work hard and to build. And they've seen that in me. So I think when it comes back to the qualification part, I think this is when you know that you've done things in community that you have that on your resume to come in. For example, a few years ago, they pulled in, I think, 10 to 15 business people, hardworking, honest business people on a board to build a division of the Ajax Hospital called the Ajax Shoulder Center, the Ajax Hospital Shoulder Center. And they pulled me in. I was like, what am I doing here? I'm sitting among multi-millionaires and doctors. I said, you guys know I'm just a mere immigrant coming in. And they said, we want what you have to offer to the community. You're the person that you know what's going on. You have the network of people. We're here dealing with people. You are the people. You are that part of that people. And they pulled me in, and this is when I started to realize with the people like the Jim Van Duzens and, these people who breathe Ajax, who only care about community, and he's in the boat with me, and we connected on so many different levels, and we've grown together in the community so well. But you network with the right people, and you grow with them, and these guys have encouraged, you are the guy. You're the guy that's going to go out there and make this place something special. I'm excited for that support.
That's great. That's exciting. And, I think that's an important piece of it, right? Is, again, you've got that network, right? And people want to know, at least from what I can see anyways, what I'm seeing out there in the social media, they want to know who you are, and it sounds like you represent quite a few people properly, so that's amazing. So we're kind of getting close to the end here, Ashmeed. Is there anything else that you want to kind of share to the listeners before we kind of wrap things up?
Yeah, well, with Ajax people hardly vote. So I just want to bring this up to the voting part, right? I think I spoke enough about myself, and it's not something I really want to do too much. But I guess you have to if you want to win an election and you want to get people to know and trust you. So, but that's a lot about myself. But you want to know anything more about me? My handle on social media is VoteKhan 2018, VoteKhan 2018. And you get me on my social media. My website for the elections is ashmeedkhan.ca, ASHMEEDKHAN.ca. You can find anything, and all my contact info is on if you want to talk to me one-on-one. I'm doing a meet and greet at the McLean's Community Center this Saturday, October 13th, from 2 to 4 p.m. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to meet with our residents, so they can throw what they have at me, and we can find the answers together. Again, one more thing that on the campaign trail, Gary, people have issues, like they have problems, and they have the answers. They have the solutions to it. So it's not rocket science to fix these issues. So if you give people the opportunity to engage, you have all the answers you need. So I want to make sure people know how important their level of intelligence is. So that's important. People got to tell us what they want, and trust me, they have the solutions, right? Voting is difficult for people in Ajax. It's all online now. We have no excuses. Just make the effort to come out. Just come out. Sit in your phone, sit on your laptop, on your computer, and vote. Again, don't just you need to research your candidates properly. Make sure you don't. And I'm not trying to sell myself here, but you need to know your community before you come. You just don't appear out of the blue and just think you can represent only your part of the community. That won't work. You won't get anywhere around council. So make sure you find the person. Research. Do your due diligence. See who you have, and see who can represent your interests. And be fair to yourself. Right. So that's all I think I want to add.
Perfect. And one last question that I have. So after you do become the Ajax Ward 2 local councillor, how long is the appointment for?
So it's for 4 years.
4 years, okay.
4 years. Yeah.
Okay, great. So listen, I've learned a lot about what you're doing. I've learned obviously quite a bit here on how this whole process works and how you represent the people in the community. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you sitting down with us and taking some time out of your busy schedule. So thank you very much. I'm going to let you get back to what you've got to do, because it sounds like you've got a ton of stuff that you've got to get completed before next Monday. So thank you.
Yes. Gary, the pleasure has been all mine. Absolutely. Thank you for taking your time. And you think I'm worthy of this conversation we're having here. Thank you, sir.
Oh, no, thank you. So thank you very much. Take care, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon at Lifetime.
I got it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gary.
All right. Bye. Thank you all so much for joining this month's podcast. I hope you guys really enjoyed the content. Don't forget to check out smarthomechoice.ca to learn more about real estate investing and how we can help.